That was a place where a lot of people worked at. Quite a bit of people, to be exact. And at this place, you can see what type of vehicle that everybody will pull up in. Whether they may be driving a Toyota, Chevy, whatever type of vehicle of your choice. Everybody could see how a person would get to work because everybody made decent money at this place. But there was one particular person that stood out from everybody. It was one man that would catch the bus to work. Now, like I just said, everybody made good and decent money. So this person could afford to buy some transportation, whether it may be a moped, a bike, or even a car. They had enough money to buy themselves transportation. Now, this guy would catch the bus to work every day. And when this guy came to work, his clothes was, old. His shoes was old and balled up, like a pair of white balled up dirty K-Swiss. Because this man did not spend his money like that. So as time went by, during a lunch break, a man walked over to the table and spoke to this guy. He was a friendly guy. He was not a weird guy that would not speak to anybody. He would speak to anybody. So a coworker came to the table and began talking to this man and say, you know what, bro, how are you doing? My name is such and such. How are you? He introduced himself to him, and the other man introduced himself to the other man. So they hit it off pretty great. And they began talking. And the coworker asked the guy that would catch the bus to work and also wear old clothes and also old shoes to work, man, why is it that you don't have transportation to drive yourself to work? Why is it that you catch the bus? And why is it that you are wearing old clothes and old shoes to work? I'm not trying to be in your business or anything, but I'm just concerned about you, sir. The man said to his coworker, I was taught to save all of my money for a rainy day. And the coworker said to him, man, you're right, man. Save your money for a rainy day. But do something for yourself, man. I don't care what it is. Do something for yourself. And the man said, no, I'm saving my money for a rainy day because that's what I was taught. But anyway, time goes by and this man still comes to work with old dingy clothes on, old shoes on, catching the bus to work. So the man had a lot of family members that were sitting around watching him save all of his money. They knew that their family member was hoarding a lot of money at his home. Well, time went by even more. Like I just said, family members knew that he was saving a lot of money for a rainy day. So they're sitting back, licking their chops, rubbing their hands, trying to figure out, man, I cannot wait until I can get my hand on some money one day. Now, they were not saying that they were going to take the money from their loved one that was saving money for a rainy day, but they were sitting around rubbing their hands trying to figure out how to make ends meet. They wanted cars, they wanted clothes, they wanted all type of things, and etc. They wanted things in their life, but they could not afford to get these things because they didn't have the money or the funds to get these things that they wanted. So the man that worked at this plant for a long time, and he was saving all of his money. Now, this guy would take $100 bills, $1 bills, $5 bills, $10 bills, $20 bills, and hoard them in his home and save it up under his mattress. Now, this guy worked at this place for 35 years. I'm just giving an example out on how long this guy may have been working at this place because he have saved up a lot of money through those years. He would take all of his change and put it in jugs in his home. This guy would save up a lot of money. One day the man died. And remember, this man will save up all of his money for a rainy day. This man did not buy himself a vehicle. This man did not buy himself any new clothes, new shoes. This man, when he eat, he would eat cheap. He would go and buy bologna, crackers, potted meat. I mean, all those cheap foods he would eat, wrecking his health. So this man would basically just put his health to the side just to save money. Now, this man wanted to buy himself a vehicle, but he never did it. This man wanted to buy himself new clothes, but he never did it. This man wanted to buy a lot of things, but he never did it. All because he wanted to save his money for a rainy day. Now, family members began to go to the home of this man, and they began to clean out the home because he's now deceased. They began to go through stuff at their home and say, you know, Uncle such and such did not buy much. I mean, there's not much of nothing in his home, if I made sense. I mean, he don't have a lot of clothes. He has old shoes in the closet. What was my kinfolk doing, or my relative doing? What was he doing with his money? He has nothing to show for it other than the home that he's staying in. So they began searching around the home even more. He had a bed inside of this home, a couch, and an old TV. And this guy also had potted meat, bologna, and all type of cheap foods in his home, which caused him to lose his life because he would destroy his health by eating all of this garbage. So the family members finally get to the room of their relative. They look in the closet and they found a real big old change jug full of quarters, nickels, dimes, pennies. I mean, every type of coin that you can imagine. He was saving up all of his change, never really spent his change really. This man saved up maybe enough change that can fit in 3 wheelbarrows. Not just one type of change, like a penny, but he had quarters, nickels, dimes. You know what I'm saying. He had all type of change, saved up enough change to put inside of a wheelbarrow. So the relatives was like, man, remember we were just saying that where is our relative money is going? He has nothing to show for it. Look where his money is going. He's saving it all. Let's look around the house and see what's going on, because he may have saved even more money. They flipped up the mattress. This man had a box spring full of money. $100 bills, $5 bills, $10 bills, $20 bills, $2 bills. This man had it all under this mattress. This man had a lot of money up under this mattress, to the point that the relative was saying to themselves, wow. Whoa, I mean, they were amazed by what they found. Now, you got a lot of relatives inside this home. Now remember, this guy did not buy himself anything. Even though he wanted to buy himself something, he never did it. So the relatives were standing around in this home, and they began to think to themselves, you know what? I want a new car. And the other relative said to themselves, I want some new clothes. And the other relative said to themselves, I'm trying to pay my home off. So on and so forth. They began to think on things that they can do with their money. So they began to take the money. One relative took the money and bought themselves a new vehicle. One relative took some money and bought themselves some new clothes. One relative took the money and bought themselves a home. One relative took some of that money and just splurged and bought cars and clothes and, had a good old time with their money. So the whole moral of that story is it's okay to save for a rainy day. But if you don't spend your money and do what you want to do with your money, somebody else is going to do what they want to do with your money when you're gone. Don't matter if it's your child, your mother, your father, or anybody in your life, friends, it don't matter. If they get a hold to that money, they're going to do what they want to do with their money. So save your money. It's okay to save your money, but do something for yourself. Don't live life on the edge trying to save for a rainy day. And the rainy day comes when you die. And you did not do anything for yourself with that money at all. So when you sit back and say to yourself, I'm not going to do anything with my money. I'm going to save it all. I'm going to save it all for a rainy day. Even though I want to do something with my money, I'm not going to do it because I remember I want to save my money for a rainy day. So what you don't do with your money, somebody else is going to do this. Let me repeat that one more time. What you don't do with your money, somebody else is going to do with your money. For example, if you don't buy a car with your money, somebody else is going to take your money and buy themselves a car with your money. Think about that. So, save for a rainy day, and do not forget, do something for yourself, because we got one life to live. Once it's all over with, it's over with. Once this life is gone, we don't know what's on the other side. We don't know. So if you have some money, buy yourself a vehicle. Buy yourself some clothes. Buy yourself a steak. Buy yourself a home. Buy yourself something, because when you're dead, it don't matter. Leave something for your children if you got children, or your loved ones. Leave something for them. But at the same time, do something for yourself. Y'all have a good one. Holla at you.